At last, I have conquered the Revlon lip butters. I cannot tell you how much I would visit this one CVS and this one Target all the time to see if they would stock all of the lip butter colors. For a really long time, I had only a few, and then I would get a few more, and then I would get a few more, and then there were two colors that were just absolutely outside of my grasp. For whatever reason, nobody had them in stock. And finally, I have all 20 lip butters. So I'm going to just upload a kind of long video for me in that it'll be more than like 2 minutes, just to be able to show each color. So there are indeed 20 in total. So these are all the shades that it's coming in right now. Um, they have all these numbers, and you can tell the numbers by it's either a whole number, except for one, or it's a multiple of 5, basically. So it's 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, that kind of thing, all the way up to 95, so that makes 20 shades. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first show them to you in number order, and then I'm going to do it again where I kind of group the ones that seem similar to me, because for whatever reason they didn't do that when they numbered them. That way you can compare and see which ones you really like better. So these are the first 12 that I'm going to show you. I couldn't fit them all in my hand, so again I'm going to show them to you in number order. And as you can see, the shades don't exactly coordinate very well, but this is how I kept track of making sure I got each one. I'm sure you can look up tons of other videos like from head to toe. Jen does a really nice job where she actually wears the colors. Beauty Broadcast does a really nice job explaining how they feel and the moisturizing effect of them. And so all those other beauty gurus, I will let you go ahead and refer to them. I like them because I don't like lipstick. So these are the perfect combination of a lip balm for me, where it has that balm texture, where it's really moist, and it's kind of a sheer layer of a color. At the same time, they give you a lot of color, so it borders on a lipstick in that sense. So I went ahead and invested in all 20 of these. This is the best way for me to get that lipstick kind of feel and have a variety of shades at my disposal. So the first row here, you can see we have pink truffle, sugar frosting, raspberry pie, and tutti frutti. And so that would be the first row here. Secondly, we have brown sugar, peach parfait, fig jam, and candy apple. And you can see with the light shining on them how moist these are and really kind of reflect back the light. Third row we have red velvet, cotton candy, berry smoothie, and cupcake. Okay, so those are those first 12 colors. Here's kind of all of them. Then I wanted to just show you what the tubes look like. They are kind of color coded to the kind of what they look like on the inside. So then you can kind of, it's easier to just see the tubes sometimes. So this is the first 4, this is the second 4, and this is the third line of 4. Okay, so that's what kind of all of the tubes look like. And again, these are what these colors look like here. Really great pigmentation. And the only thing that I kind of hate about these tubes is the way that they lock onto themselves. It has this little thing here, right? So that's good, so then the cap doesn't fall off, and you can see the color So that's really nice. So you can stack them this way, or you could lay them down, or you could stack them this way and still, no matter how you organize your makeup, you'll be able to see what color it is. But trying to get this cap off is really hard for me. I have to like put my nail in between here to be able to kind of pull it off. And it kind of has this little bit of grip, but what I can show you is in this one, this poor unfortunate one, I mashed it because when I pulled the cap off, I kind of like pulled it and then it sprang back a little and then it mashed the balm. And of course that's upsetting, but that's probably the only thing that I really hate about this packaging. There's really no way to kind of show you how that works except for, so there's the grip. You know, you pop it open, okay, but you know, it really kind of seals it. So when you snap it back on, it clicks. That's nice, but it is so hard to get it back off. So that's the only thing, is I struggle with that. If anyone has any tips on how to open a lipstick tube, I'd be much appreciated. For the last two rows now, we have Gumdrop, number 60, Creamsicle, which was so hard to find, Cherry Tart, Lollipop, Strawberry Shortcake, Sugar Plum, Sweet Tart, and Creme Brulee. So these are the colors. This is the top row. And this is of course the bottom row. Again, this is what the tubes look like. Sometimes it's easier to just find the tubes. So that's the top row and the bottom row. So now what I try to do is kind of put them in a little bit of an order of kind of what I think are similar colors, because the color of the tube does kind of represent the color of the lipstick, but sometimes it's a little bit misleading too. So I just kind of arrange them a little bit. So this is the first row, and I'm going to just try and show you what the numbers are in order here. Creamsicle, Creme Brulee, Peach Parfait, Pink Truffle, Tutti Frutti, Cotton or Candy Apple, Cherry Tart, Red Velvet, Brown Sugar, and lastly Fig Jam. Okay, so now this, I'm sorry, my arm is not long enough to do this, but this is the first row here. And what I tried to kind of do is just kind of put colors that are kind of similar together, but then kind of also show you that their names and the darkness of them is a little bit misleading. So again, here we have, which is so sheer it's hard to even see it, but that is Creamsicle, the first one. And then next to it is Creme Brulee. And then I have Peach Parfait. Then I have Pink Truffle, Tutti Frutti. This one is Candy Apple. This one is really kind of like a tomato red. And then Cherry Tart is just more of a berry red. And then Red Velvet is the darkest one of this bunch. And then Brown Sugar and Fig Jam. Okay, so to kind of compare those, so although Fig Jam has probably, in my mind, one of the darkest kind of packaging, it's actually not very dark. It's a little bit more of a sheer color, while Red Velvet is the most pigmented of this line by far. Though all of these kind of three here, the Tutti Frutti, the Candy Apple, and the Cherry Tart, give you really nice pigmentation as well. Okay, so now for the second row, Again, I kind of tried to line these up a little bit in terms of how I would kind of see them, and that way you can kind of compare them. So on this row I have, first up is sugar frosting, gumdrop, cupcake, cotton candy, strawberry shortcake, sweet tart, berry smoothie, lollipop, raspberry pie, which was so hard to find, and lastly sugar plum. Okay, so now that's the second line on my arm. Try to line them up a little bit here so you can see. And then a close-up for you to kind of be able to tell. So that first one is sugar frosting, and then it's gumdrop. And gumdrop, although it kind of looks purplish, it really just gives kind of a very light purple, very, very light lilac sheen, really. Otherwise, it's pretty sheer. And then comes cupcake, which is a little bit more of like a milky pink. And then we have cotton candy. This one is cotton candy. Then we have strawberry shortcake. Then we have sweet tart, which is where you start to get a little more pigmentation. Then we have berry smoothie. So sweet tart is the pinker pink, and berry smoothie is really more of a muted, kind of more of a rose, not as berry as you would think. And then we have lollipop, which is that really kind of nice bright color here. And then we have raspberry pie, which is the darkest one of this bunch. And last but not least, sugar plum. So although sugar plum you think would be darker, just by kind of looking at the tube here, it's really more of a sheer color. And raspberry pie is by far the darkest of this line. So I hope you can kind of see these. I'm sorry if it's hard on my skin tone. But I just kind of wanted to try and line them up a little bit better, so that if you don't want to collect all 20 like I did, you can kind of pick and choose which one you think would really go best with you. So this is without the bright light of my camera, so it's a little bit more yellow than it really would be in real life. But then with my camera it's a little bit more blue. So I'm just trying to show you both so you can kind of get a better feel for the colors. I'm trying to match them up a little bit with the tubes here. But you can really see how creamsicle is just a very sheer kind of pale color. But what I do think about creamsicle is that it gives you kind of that milky kind of sheerness, kind of more of a, like if you put concealer on your lips first and then you nuded out your lips, I think that's what creamsicle would kind of help accomplish for you. Where like the next one, creme brulee, has more of a natural actual lip color to it, that it would kind of give you more of that kind of neutral, natural lip look. And here you can kind of see how gumdrop really doesn't give off as much of a frightening violet look as it looks in the tube. It just kind of gives a very sheer, cool lilac. So this is the color gumdrop. I just wanted to show you the full extent of the product. This is it fully extended, and this is kind of that lilac lavender color that looks a little bit scary but really does go on quite sheer. And the only thing I am a little disappointed in is that it is a very smooth lip butter, and so it's easy to kind of, I could see someone who swipes lipstick very often to very easily go through this. So if you have a color that you really love, you might want to get a backup in it, just because it's a little bit deceiving how much product you really get in this tube. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and I know this is a little silly because there are so many Revlon lip butter videos and swatches, but these are all 20 and they're all on one little frame here. So I just wanted to kind of show off all of these in case you wanted to pick and choose what colors you really like.